U.S. Legal Permanent Residence of 2007. A legal permanent resident or green card recipient is defined by immigration law as a person who has been granted lawful permanent residence in the United States. Permanent resident status confers certain rights and responsibilities. For example, legal permanent residents may live and work permanently anywhere in the United States, own property, and attend public schools, colleges, and universities. They may also join certain branches of the armed forces and apply to become U.S. citizens if they meet certain eligibility requirements. This Office of Immigration Statistics Annual Flow Report presents information obtained from applicants for LPR status on the number and characteristics of persons who became LPRs in the United States during 2007. Okay, remember they said this is helpful, okay? I don't know about you, but already I'm not feeling a lot of help coming from here. Let's see. In 2007, a total of 1,052,415 persons became LPRs of the United States. Okay, do I really need to know that? Look, legal immigration process. Okay, the Immigration Nationality Act and its amendments are the basis for most immigration laws in effect today. U.S. law gives priority for immigration status to foreign nationals who have a close family relationship with a U.S. citizen or LPR, who have needed job skills, who are from countries with relatively low levels of immigration in the United States, or who have refugee or asylee status. Okay, well, this is a great statement of the big picture, but this is really not helping us find out how. How do we do it? Here's all the numbers of people. Here's the different categories, okay? Here's all the categories set up here. You know, this doesn't help us. We want to know how to fill out the forms and get the green card. We don't, you know, we know that a lot of people do it. Look, here's all the countries and stuff who are doing it. You know, the states where people are doing it. All right, we want to do it. So this, even though they say this is a lot of information, I don't consider this to be too helpful. I mean, I'm interested in it as an immigration attorney, but you know, an excellent overview of immigration, that's really too big. So we'll just blow that off. Where can I find the law? Yeah, Immigration Nationality Act is a law that governs immigration in the United States. Okay. For the part of the law concerning most types of permanent resident status, please see INA 245. The specific eligibility requirements and procedures for adjusting to permanent resident status are included in the Code of Federal Regulations. Great, just read the law. You know, it's sitting there. I've got a copy of it on the bookshelf over there. Let's just go read the law. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. And I'll tell you something. I like to read the law. The law, it's actually written in a way you can get what's going on. It's interesting to me as a lawyer to read the law. And to you, I'm going to attempt to save you having to read the law by cutting to the chase and getting right to what you need to know to get this thing done. You just want, I know what you want is you want a green card, you want to be able to live in the United States forever, you want to connect with your family, you want to start your relationship, start your life here in the United States, and that's what I'm gonna help you do here. Who is eligible? Yeah, who is eligible? You know, eligibility is a big deal. Who is eligible? That's why on all these videos we're using a specific scenario of eligibility. Immigrant coming into the country legally, marrying a U.S. citizen, okay, and just looking at that basis of eligibility, because even though that's very narrow, there's a lot of complexity in that relationship. That's why this is very much focused on marriage-based visas and marriage-based categories. How do I apply? To find out how you can apply to become a lawful permanent resident of the United States, please click here to see application procedures, which will help you identify what you need to do. Look, there's no hyperlink here. It doesn't link over to there. After you submit your application materials, you'll be asked to go to a USCIS office to answer questions about your applications. Well, that's true, but this website is not actually putting me over there. Will I get a work permit? Applicants for adjustment of permanent resident status are eligible to apply for a work permit while their cases are pending, and that's very true. You should use USCIS form I-485 to apply for a work permit. We are going to do that. We have a whole video in this package on just this form. You do not need to apply for a work permit once you adjust to permanent resident status. Okay, that's great. Can I travel outside the United States? Again, if you are applying for adjustment to permanent resident status, you must receive advance permission to return to the United States if you are traveling outside of the United States. This advance permission is called advance parole, and we have a video tutorial all on advance parole. Listen to this though. If you do not obtain advance parole before you leave the country, you will abandon your application with USCIS and you may not be permitted to return to the United States. Now that is harsh, but that is the truth, and so that's why we want you to fill those I-131s out correctly and get that advance parole. How can I check on the status of my application? Please contact the USCIS office that received your application. That's true. You should be prepared to provide USCIS staff with specific information about your application. Please click here for complete instructions on checking the status of your application. Well, what if no one's received your application yet? And that's the problem. You don't have a receipt. You don't have any notice. You know, we have in our procedures video, we go into in depth on the nuances and the issues around how to follow up with your case, because it's always a very important part of your application. How can I appeal? They're saying that if you are, listen to this, the only applications for permanent residency which can be appealed to USCIS are those based on a marriage which took place while the alien's application was in process, or those based on Section 586 of Public Law 106-429. Adjustment of status for certain nationals of Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos. These appeals must be made to the Administrative Appeals Unit. So, you know, appeals, we don't really cover appeals, because if you've got a case denied, that's really when you need to go into an attorney and get legal help on the issue. And it may not be an appeal, it might just be a motion to reopen, it might be a request for supervisory review. There's some different tactics that you can use if you're not able to appeal to actually get someone to look at that application again. And so that's important to know. Can anyone help me? If advice is needed, you may contact the USCIS district office near your home for a list of community-based non-profit organizations that may be able to assist you in applying for an immigration benefit. Please see our USCIS field office homepage for more information on contacting USCIS offices. Well, they don't mention immigration attorneys here. And you know that immigration attorneys are definitely people who can help you. And you know, the thing is that it's not okay for anyone just to give you advice on how to fill out these forms. What we're doing as a tutorial on the form is okay, but if you go into someone who's not licensed lawyer and they're actually advising you on what to put into those boxes, you've got to be very, very careful, because that's illegal for the most part. Yeah, there are certain non-lawyers who can give that advice, but they have been authorized by the Immigration Service or by the Immigration Court to actually provide that advice to you. So if you do seek advice from a non-lawyer, you got to be very, very careful that you are working with someone who is actually has you know, the authority to give you that advice. So that is, those are some of the issues that come up. You know, I want to cover this because I know that these are questions that people always ask, and I want to make sure that you have a big overview before we get into the line-by-line and step-by-step details of this form. So let's see. We just went that one. Application procedures. Application procedures: becoming a permanent resident while in the United States. And here's, you got your Form I-485, I-485A, and we have another tutorial that talks about how to apply for a green card if you entered illegally. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult and complex. So if that's your case, we have another tutorial on that, and we use a lot of times Supplement A to Form I-485 to do that. Then the G